this is Magna, and welcome back to my tutorial series. This one is only for Attila Total War. Future ones will be for both Rome and Attila. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how to mod the army integrity system and how it all works. I had hoped before it was released that it would be a bit more involved, but it's quite simple, unfortunately, and limited with what we can do. So one of the things I wanted to do with it was to add effects to the morale system, the army integrity system, so it would actually affect your battlefield morale. But I've looked through all the tables and the scripts, and it actually has no impact on your units from what I can see and what I've seen in game. The only thing that it actually does is when it gets really low, it gives you the chance of having a mutiny. Okay, so where most of this is all done, all the base values, is in the campaign variables table. So we go into our data pack, which is in your Total War Attila data folder, data, and then we're going to go down to campaign variables. It's down here. Now in the tables, it's called army morale. It's not called integrity. That's only for the text that you see in game. So if we go all the way down to military force morale, and we can see it here, all these values deal with different additions to the each army's morale. So these are all your base values. So from attrition you get -5, bankruptcy -5. If you lose a battle you get, well, so this is actually split up. So if you lose a battle you get -15. That -15 is only for one turn. If you make this number larger, so you made this 3, it means for 3 turns, each turn you would get -15 integrity or morale. Same thing for battles 1, you get +10 or 10 for 1 round. Again, you could make that for more rounds so that the loss of a battle lost actually takes its toll over a longer period of time. But there's no scaling of that, so you can't have it so that the first turn it costs. It impacts -15, the next turn -10, the next turn -5. It's all just a fixed amount. Then you've got a casualties multiplier, which is, I think, the relative casualties between you and the enemy. So if you kill more of the enemy than they kill of you, then you get a positive impact to your army integrity, and if they kill more of you than that you do of them, then you get a negative impact on your army integrity. Decimated is the mechanic where you just click the decimate button and then it kills off a bunch of your men, and that you get a +30. And you can also have that last multiple turns. So instead of having it 30 in one go, you could have it, say, 10 for 3 turns. Make this number here, the decimated turns, into 3. Then you get your faction leader who's killed. You get -5. I'm sure that'll probably be in all your armies. And again, so that's per turn. So that's 5 turns there. And then you get a penalty for being on foreign soil, -1. Penalty for being idle. Bonus for being idle, you get +1. If the faction leader is the general, again, another bonus. This is to do with, of course, looting settlements. I guess it would be sacking as well. So turns you get. So the multiplier here is 500% of whatever the base is. There's probably some bonuses to that from how much you sack and such things. I haven't found them yet though. Here we set at what level there can be a mutiny. When your army integrity gets below this level, then you can have a mutiny happen. Raiding is a positive effect. Releasing captives. Starting value, so that's all new armies or new generals in armies or so will start with 50 morale. Transfer penalties is where you move soldiers, I think, to another army. And that's all there is for the morale system. Base values. Now, we can also add effects which impact the army morale system, and they are all set in Well, if you're not familiar with how to use effects, you should watch my Rome 2 tutorial on how to create new effects and also effect scopes, because that's kind of some prerequisite viewing for this next part that I'm about to do. So, if you're familiar with the Army integrity, Army morale system, then you'll know that different character skills and attributes and all this kind of stuff, Army traditions, they can impact the integrity of your armies. And the way they do that is through a series of effects. So if we go down to here and we look in the effect bonus value basic junctions, I'm just going to sort this and scroll to the relevant areas. What's it called? It's called morale. Military force morale modifier. Here we go. These are the currently set up, these ones here are the currently set up effects for ways to modify the army morale. And these are assigned, okay, so first you've got the bonus value ID, which breaks them up into different categories. So when you hover over the army integrity bar and it shows you how it's being impacted, then it breaks it down into these categories. So that's all this really does. It doesn't actually mean that if you use that bonus value ID, it doesn't mean that it's only in foreign waters. And then here are all the effects that are set up for it in vanilla. You can of course create your own new effects. That's not a problem. I'll show you how to do that in the other tutorial. And then you can assign it to different parts. So if you want to assign it to rating, to normal stance, you can assign it to different force stances. Where is it? It's in here. Stance. So here we have all these different bundles. Each one is for a different stance, different army stance. So if you're ambushing, you can add the effect, put in the... let's make this a little bigger. Okay, so if you want to make this into an ambushing bonus to integrity from ambushing, then you can just get a new pack, as we do with new packs, and you would add it to the effect bundle for ambushing, and then you could either create a new, you choose the category you want it, you create the effect, or you use an existing effect. You add the correct effect scope, which would probably be army to army own, and then you put in how much. Now, the value that you put in here, it is not a percentage change. It does not change the percentage of the integrity you get from that stance. It is a flat number increase or decrease. So you can put -1, +1. It's not a +1%, it's a +1 to integrity. And so the additive as opposed to a modifier value, even though when we look here in, I've got to order this again. When we look here, it says morale modifier. It doesn't mean that it's a multiplier. It means it's only a +1, -1. Okay, so that's one place you can put the effects. That's if you want to do stances or into seasons or a number of different things. You can put them into there, into Imperium if you like. Then there's also other places you can put it onto, say, like character attributes, traits, ancillaries. All these different systems have different tables where you can put in the modifier, this effect to impact the army integrity. I'm not going to create a mod for that, because if you're watching this, you've probably already gotten that far that you know how to create a mod and set all that stuff up. But that's just how the tables work. Now, I did look to find if there was a table which determined the impact, a statistic impact on an army or the units in an army based on the level of army integrity, and it came up blank. There was nothing there, so that's a real shame. The text, when you hover over the tooltip text, indicates that there is actually an impact on the army, but in the database I could find no indication of anything like that. If you do find it, if it is there and I've just not been able to see it. I looked for a couple of days and I couldn't find it. I really wanted to mod this. Please let me know. And it may be modded in later if anyone from CA... It may be added in a future update, hopefully, if anyone from CA is watching this. I doubt it. But anyway, that's all there is to the Army integrity system. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.